Hello, happy Sunday. This is your week ahead energy tarot reading for the week of October 27th to November 2nd, 2025. Thanks for being here. Just as a little side note, this is the last week that I'm doing the Spooky and Sweet Tarot Treat tarot offering. You can find that on my Instagram. I'll try to link that. They've been so potent and I've loved doing these little readings. They've been so fun. So I've been wanting a more personal reading of the energies that you can expect for what's coming up for you. Check it out on there. I would love to offer a reading to you and work with you. So another full week, a lot of things happening in the sky. I will mention that as we go through the cards. How is Scorpio season starting for you? Can you notice where some karmic wrap-ups are happening? I feel like that is the theme of Scorpio season. I mentioned it in my Scorpio season video. If you haven't checked that out, I recommend it. It was really interesting. A lot of stuff coming up around how we relate with others and ourselves and noticing the patterns that we've been, what's the word I want to say? The patterns we have been operating with our whole lives because of conditioning, past lives, current lives, how we've been raised. And that's coming. I used this term, we're reaching a crescendo with this energy that feels really intense. And there's been an invitation in both my life and people I love when we feel this peak energy that is for our best and highest good as things fall away at this time. It can feel so intense. Like if we're in a symphony, sometimes it can feel so loud and you're just like, how is this going to end? When is it going to end? It feels like really intense. Knowing that it does reach a peak and that is intense energy, but then it slowly starts to come down and it's not an immediate fall off. So like, what am I trying to say here? The energy feels intense, and I wonder if you've been feeling that. I feel like it's been intense for a while, but here's a time where we can be more aware of how we have the choice to repattern, to change some patterns. Really important. Yeah, let's get into this week's reading. Okay, so the cards have been pulled. I haven't looked at them yet. Just trusting the unfolding. We'll get cards for this is the general theme. We have the beginning, middle, end of the week. And then I do have another deck here if we need some clarification. So energy of the week, we have, before I look at these cards, we have Court and Maze. And it says, although your path is unclear, it is there waiting for you, waiting for your faith to lead you. Wow. I'm really being drawn to like the things that are in the maze, like the unknown going forward, or wherever we are moving on our path. Like I wonder if a lot of us are at a transition point in our lives in one way or another. This new moon is really interesting. It's giving me like eclipse vibes. I'm noticing like the beware, like the ways that we might feel afraid to move onto something new or different, even though it's time. Although your path is unclear, it is there waiting for your faith to lead you. Let's just like see from the guidebook and see if there's any good information on that. Keywords: compromising beliefs, falling off the path, getting lost, and authenticity. It says your higher self chose this path because your life is a lot like going through a corn maze. It's a series of choices that will either lead you to freedom, manifested in feelings of joy, success, feeling loved and supported, or choices that lead you feeling stuck, stagnant, confused, and lost. The next choice is always a flip of a coin and will bring you closer to or further away from your desired outcome. It's just talking about like we don't get a map as we go through all of this. It just comes back to like your inner self speaks to you through your beliefs and feelings and is speaking to you now through these cards, letting you know that maybe you've gone in the wrong direction. If you're inquiring about a future decision, receiving this card is a definite no. This is not the path to take. It's interesting because I did mention the beware and all of the things that like prevent us from moving forward. Yeah, so what this card is asking for us is to maybe this week, the theme this week is us contemplating our values and our core beliefs. What are we hoping to gain from a situation? Who are we attempting to become? Have your choices supported your future version of yourself in your life? Wow, this talks a lot about what I was talking about in the intro about we're really being confronted right now to address and sit with our patterning or the ways that we move about our lives and where that comes from and whether or not that's truly us now. And I think we're being asked to move away from that. But let's see like the card. So Monday, Tuesday, let's see. The 9 of Wands in reverse. Wow, really interesting. So what I just heard is like, we're looking and seeing all of these people staying in a line, like moving on their path or defending themselves in some way. But then we have this main character who is about to embark on a journey. Like, look, they have their pail. And when I think of this, I hear like, you know, in Halloween, your pail is to collect gifts or treats. I'm also seeing this cat as a guide of some kind, like on this journey forward. I'm hearing like a crackling fire. Like I'm hearing all this crackling at this time. Like you've all of a sudden come up against a situation in life where you're like, I've been moving on this path for so long and I'm hitting this wall. You know, either that's an emotional wall or this is a financial wall or you're just being asked to stop. And with the corn maze and like making a different choice. If this is you turning around and looking away from where you've been moving, maybe this is also talking about like where, not that you should backtrack in any way, but maybe just you've come to a stop point. Are you forcing something? That's number one that's coming through. Are you forcing something at the beginning of the week? At the beginning of the week, Mars and Jupiter are making a trine, which is like a really flowing energy towards action. But where might we be pushing towards something that isn't in our alignment anymore? And I wonder if it'll come up later in our cards, because I do know that on the weekend, Venus, so our values, our beliefs, is going to be opposing Chiron, the wounded healer. Let's move in a little bit and see what else comes up. So this is Wednesday, Thursday. We have the Hermit. I'm actually really enjoying this Hermit in this card because right away I noticed that he is smiling. The Hermit invites us to, again, broken record, I say this every fucking week, I feel like. Hermit is an invitation for us to go inward, to rest, to spend some time alone. And this Hermit seems enthusiastic, like this joy. I get the sense that this Hermit in the middle of the week finding space in our day is finding space in our lives to kind of like experiment with something, to try something different. Like I don't know, there's just a lot of joy in this. I'm also seeing a smile here and a smile here. I also was really drawn to the mountains and the stars in the background, and that just beyond the confines of us spending some time alone is the invitation to a new journey to our dream lives. Every time I see stars and cards, I think about the star card, which talks about rejuvenation. And because the star follows the tower, it makes me think of, you know, we've hit this breaking point and now it's time for us to just gather strength and spend some time healing before we head on another journey. Like we're concocting ways to begin this new journey, which I think you're ready for. I love frog coming up here because frogs remind me of the ways that they can properly navigate water, so emotions, and land, so like the more mundane day-to-day material world and life sort of things. And I'm getting a sense that like midweek, we're finding the tools, we're trying new things in order for us to feel like we're ready to navigate this new journey. Because he's right out this window. The frog is making me think of, you have like through this experimentation, through finding like areas of joy midweek and spending time alone and recharging, we're realizing that we're transmuting a lot of energy, and it's allowing us the ability to navigate, again, emotional waters and the mundane life. And I love this silliness aspect to this card. Like, yeah, joy midweek. I love this, honestly. Like, if we were feeling stuck at the beginning of the week of, I've been going on this path, now I have to turn around or do something different. And then midweek, it's like, oh, wait, but I get to try something new. And this actually feels more aligned for me. There's something about this, too, about not over intellectualizing this week. Like, how can you take your mind out of this and just drop into the body and have more fun? I love that. Invitation for midweek. Have more fun. Maybe alone. Probably alone, honestly. Finally, this weekend, we have Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have the Six of Ghosts, the Six of Cups. This is really sweet. I really love the Six of Cups, especially for like Halloween, right? I'm getting a sense of like connecting with others. This is really interesting, like groups, spending time with people, a sweet offering of some kind, some comfort. Yeah, I love this. This weekend looks really sweet, and I'm hearing right now this sweetness from this weekend kind of pulls you out of feeling this like overall theme of perhaps feeling lost on your path right now. Like midweek into the weekend, it's this energy of, how can you just forget that for now? Like, you're going to have to deal with that later, but how can you spend a majority of this week sinking into like reciprocity, like emotional reciprocity, spending time with friends and family, connecting with others? I am curious. Someone is getting a romantic offering this weekend. I love that. I'm just going to ask, I do really feel strongly that focusing on like play and silliness and like not doing anything too intellectual, that feels really good here. I feel really good about this. Just the message of sweetness and joy and connecting with others, and like, yes, go to the Halloween party, and yes, go to the women's group, go to what you're being invited to, even if it means that you're gonna have to like pull away from this alone time you were feeling. Although your path is unclear, it is there waiting for you, for your faith to lead you. I'm just gonna ask, I guess, about maybe once we hit this wall, like, where do we head? What are we looking at? I'm actually going to pull two cards. I'm going to pull one card for, like, what is this character facing? And then what is the wall? So, oops. Okay. Hot tub too hot for the wall. How am I going to do this? I don't really know. I'll do it like that. Oh, well. Wow. And then for where are we looking? Energy follows intention. Okay. I'm going to pull the rest of this so I feel really clear on the rest of this, and I feel really good about how that's going to move. But let's look here at this. Hot tub too hot. Wow, that feels really fitting with like all this fire and stuff. Let's see what the guidebook has to say about this. Oh, this is too funny. Despite the risk, some travelers feel an imperative to explore all possible realms of consciousness. Others have no choice. Having failed to heed dangerously rising temperatures, you're now up too high and overheating too fast. Emergency evacuation being required. Nourishment, sleep, and hydration are keys to de-escalation. Focus on little else until this is achieved. I wonder if this is just like friction of some kind. Again, beginning of the week, Mars is having an interaction with Jupiter, which feels like it could be a manifestation of that. Could be, and it's Mars in Scorpio. Could be like an overabundance of this like hot, like fiery energy. Like this roadblock could just be like anger from yourself and others, where you just like feel really stuck. And where are you heading towards? Energy flows and follows intention. I wonder if like what you're heading away from is like, I'm noticing this like overthinking aspect, and it came up too in the Hermit card with like the brain. There's a lot going on with the mind this week, and I wonder if we're going to experience some like hyper overstimulation. And the invitation is like, will you focus on the rose or the thorn? Right? Like if you've hit this roadblock and it's feeling really heated, like an argument or a situation that you're encountering, will you choose to focus on the things that feel sharp and pokey and uncomfortable, or are there roses available for us to spend more of our time experiencing? Like the beauty of a relationship falling away, the beauty of realizing that we've hit our emotional capacity in a situation, or the beauty of a lesson that felt really hard. How can we be like, oh, thank you, universe, thank you, angels, thank you, guides, for this lesson that was really important on my journey. And then understanding that the pain is just part of this. But we don't have to focus on the pain because we get a choice. Sweet energy this week. I think that the beginning of the week might feel a little itchy, crunchy, scratchy. And that we might be really like, what the hell am I doing right now? Where am I going? That might be really present in like the undercurrent of the week. But I do feel like we get some relief midweek, end of the week, to be able to lean more into this like sweetness, both alone time and then being able to connect with others. This is what I'm seeing for the week of October 27th to November 2nd. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and I will see you on the other side.